Hello students, this is your economics teacher INR. I hope you are well and utilizing the time wisely.
Today, in this class, we are going to revise first chapter, Introduction to Microeconomics, 2 marks, 3 marks, 1 marks and finally 5 marks. Question number 1. What is meant by economics? The term or word economics comes from the ancient Greeks oikonomikos. Oikos means household and nomos means management, customs or law. Thus the term economics means management of household. The subject was earlier known as political economy. He is renamed as economics in the late 19th century by Alfred Marshall. Question number 2. What are the definition of economics? There are 4 definitions of economics. They are: first, Adam Smith wealth definition representing the classical era. Second, Alfred Marshall welfare definition representing the neoclassical era. Third, Lionel Robbins scarcity definition representing the new age. And fourth, Paul Samuelson growth definition representing the modern age. Question number 3. Who is the father of economics? Adam Smith. Question number 4. Who has given welfare definition of economics? Alfred Marshall. Question number 5. State Alfred Marshall definition of economics. According to Alfred Marshall, political economy or economics is a study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. It examines that part of individual and social action which is most closely connected with the attainment and with the use of the material request of well-being. Thus, it is on one side a study of wealth and on the other side, more important side, a part of the study of man. Question number 6. Explain the scarcity definition of economics and assess it. Meaning, Lionel Robbins published a book, an essay on the nature and the significance of economic science in 1932. According to him, economics is a science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Major features of Robbins' definitions are: first, ends refers to human wants. Second, the resources or means that go to satisfy the unlimited human wants are limited or scarce in supply. Third feature, the scarce means are capable of having alternative uses. Criticism. First criticism, Robbins does not make any distinction between goods conducive to human welfare and goods that are not. Second criticism, Robbins reduces economics merely to theory of resource allocation. Third criticism, Robbins' definition does not cover the theory of economic growth and development. Question number 7. Define growth definition. Paul Samuelson defines economics as the study of how men and society choose, with or without the use of money, to employ scarce productive resources which would have alternative uses, to productive various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in the future among various people and groups of society. Question number 8. Elaborate scope of economics. Student, see the page number 5. First point, it deals with the activities such as consumption and the production of goods and services and the distributions of income among the factors of production. Second scope, economic studies the ways in which people use the available resources to satisfy their multiplicity of wants. Third scope, economics is concerned with the activities of human being only. Fourth, the activities of rational or normal human being are the subject matter of economics. Then all human activities related to wealth constitute the subject matter of economics. Question number 9. Define positive economics. Positive science deals with what it is, means it analyzes a problem on the basis of fact and examine its causes. For example, at the time of a price increases, its causes are analyzed. Question number 10. What are goods and its types? In economics, the term goods implies the term services also, unless specified otherwise. Goods, also called product, commodities, things, etc. There are some important kinds of goods. First, free and economic goods. Second, consumer goods and capital goods. Third, perishable goods and durable goods. Question number 11. Elucidate different features of services. Student, take the page number 9. Along with goods, services are produced and consumed. They are generally possesses the following. First, intangibles. Intangible things are not physical object but exist in connection to other things. For example, brand image, goodwill, etc. Heterogeneous. Services vary across regions or cultural backgrounds. They can be grouped on the basis of quality standards. A single type service yield multiple experiences. For example, music, consulting, physician, etc. Third, inseparable from their makers. Services are inextricably connected to their makers. For example, labor and laborers are inseparables. Fourth, perishable. Services cannot be stored as inventories like assets. For example, it is useless to possess a ticket for a cricket match and the match is over. It cannot be stored and it has no value in exchange. Question number 12. Define utility and its types. Utility means usefulness. In economics, utility is the want satisfying power of a commodity or services. It is in the goods and services for an individual consumer at a particular time and a particular place. There are some important types of utility. First, form utility, time utility, place utility, service utility, possession utility, knowledge utility. Question number 13. What are the important features of utilities? First, characteristics. Utility is psychological. It depends on the consumer's mental attitudes. For example, a vegetarian derives no utility from mutton. Second, characteristics of utility. Utility is not equivalent to usefulness. For example, a smoker derives utility from a cigarette, but his health gets affected. Third, utility is not the same as pleasure. A sick person derives utility from taking a medicine, but definitely it is not providing pleasure. Fourth, utility is personal and relative. An individual obtains varied utility from one and the same good in different situations and places. Fifth, utility is the functions of the intensity of human want. An individual consumer faces a tendency of diminishing utility. Sixth, utility is a subjective concept. It cannot be measured objectively and it cannot be measured numerically. Seventh, utility has no ethical or moral significance. That's all for today. We will continue in the next class. Finish the assignment by clicking the link below.